Okay, I'm going to try not using the mic because I think I can speak loud enough on. Hello? Oh, okay. I guess I have to speak with this very close to my mouth, I guess. I don't know. I've never used this. Okay, so we're going to start off with a quote from Martin, the owner of Turing Pharmaceuticals, which is, "We have agreed upon lowering the price of Daraprim to a point that is more affordable and is able to make the company a profit, but it is a very small profit." Now, for those of you who don't know, Daraprim is a drug that's used to help with victims of AIDS, prevent a life-threatening infection that can form in the nervous system. And I find this quote sort of funny because this quote was said right after he raised the price of this drug from about $13.15 up to $750, according to the New York Times on an article posted December 17th. And this was terrible for these people because now they have to pay more. But he did stick with what he said, and he lowered the price by half for people who are actively hospitalized and would die shortly without this drug if they didn't get it. I guess the mic just died. Okay, I get a new one. Okay, this one works too. So this is just one of the many things that people with AIDS and HIV suffer from, and some of the negative stigmas that they have from people, and also the price of these drugs. Well, Martin Shkreli was one person who did it very dramatically. Other companies also do this slowly over time. And so I'm going to start by telling you about these with a scenario. So let's say that you have a cut on your hand, and somebody that represents the 1/8 of people in the United States, according to the CDC, who have HIV and don't know about it, also has a cut on their hand. And so now you shake their hand, and now you have HIV. Eventually, maybe you'll get tested, and you'll realize that you have HIV. So first, there's the emotional pressure of just getting this. I mean, your lifespan has now been shortened. You're no longer going to get to live this long, luscious life that you imagined you are going to have. You have to deal with this disease. And now you have to tell those around you that you have it. What, will they accept you now that you have HIV? Do they want to be around you now that you have HIV? It's all, do they want to accept you? And then you have to go tell those that you're going to meet up with. The Huffington Post had an article about men with HIV who are trying to date. They talked about how people weren't accepting and didn't even want to try dating them because they had HIV. They're still people too. They're not cursed. They're just unfortunate. These people who have HIV talked about how they were just rejected immediately when they tried to date others. They didn't get an opportunity at all to share their personality with them. They were just rejected immediately. And so if you're just able to help people by talking to them, listening to them, and helping them out, and then finally they have to pay for the cost of these drugs. All of these drugs can range in price, and they cost thousands of dollars. And these aren't curative measures. These are just for treatment, for them to live as long as possible, as normal as possible of a life. They cost thousands of dollars. And as I was saying, pharmaceutical companies, they raise these prices of these drugs over time by maybe 5–10%, not the 5,000% Martin Shkreli raised his drug by. And this causes them to slowly spend their life earning money to pay for these drugs to help them, rather than spending their life enjoying it while it lasts, now that it's been shortened by so much. These people, they just struggle with life. And you can help these people. There's global efforts like UNAIDS, which help internationally beyond the US in places like Ethiopia that struggle from this much more than we do. They suggested that they needed about $4 billion more last year to provide for everybody in the world. And you can also just be open to these people, listen to who they are, hear their story. Why are they here? They didn't choose to get this, they just happened to have this. They lead a life even around this and before this. And HIV numbers are going down. There are less people in the world now that have had HIV than since it became a lethal virus and was a threat to us. And just people helping is what really helps this become less of a problem if you do have it, and less of a problem overall, decreasing how much it spreads. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So you said 1/8.
4.
It's actually like 1/8 of the U.S. population.
It's estimated that 1/8 of the people in the United States don't know that they have HIV or AIDS, though it's just an estimate. It's just an estimate, an educated guess, because. Oh no. There's about 1.2 million people who have it in the United States, which is a little less than 1%. Cool.